If you've ever felt a sudden, unexplained racing heart, a thick cloud of brain fog, or a bone-deep exhaustion that sleep just can't fix, you are experiencing the modern epidemic of chronic stress. The natural response is to try and think our way out of it. We stack our nightstands with self-help books, force ourselves to recite positive affirmations, and attempt to consciously shift our mindset. But often, the anxiety stays, the exhaustion remains, and eventually, that constant frustration leaves us feeling entirely stuck, isolating us from a sense of purpose and the people we love. We keep trying to run high-level software updates, new thoughts, new routines, on a physical machine that is actively malfunctioning. We are trying to fix a deep hardware problem with a software patch. Our persistent struggle to find peace suggests that chronic anxiety stems from a basic biological misalignment rather than a lack of character or willpower. This disconnect is exactly what clinical therapist Anna Ferguson addresses in her book, The Vagus Nerve Reset, or in its Arabic edition, اعادة برمجة جهازك العصبي. The book outlines a crucial reality. Trauma and anxiety do not live exclusively in the mind as abstract thoughts. They are tangible, physical states, permanently locked within the biology of your nervous system. When you endure prolonged stress, your body becomes a physiological prison. Your internal alarms get stuck in the on position, reacting to threats from the past as if they are standing right in front of you today. To actually heal, a new perspective isn't enough. We have to reach down into the body and physically reprogram our baseline biological hardware. To understand why this physical hardware matters so much to our mental health, we have to look at the work of the mid-20th century psychologist, Abraham Maslow. He spent his career trying to map out the exact conditions required for a human being to reach their ultimate potential. This diagram is Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs. At the very top sits the ultimate goal of the human experience, self-actualization, or tahqiq that, the state of achieving your full creative and intellectual potential. But the structure of this pyramid is unforgiving. You cannot construct the delicate upper tiers if the base underneath them is actively crumbling. Down here at the bottom, we find our physiological and safety needs. This is the requirement for basic physical survival, food, sleep, and a biological sense of security. If your nervous system is in a state of chronic panic, your physical body does not feel safe. And when you don't feel physically safe, your brain actively blocks your pursuit of higher meaning, art, or deep relationships, forcing you to focus entirely on survival. This medical infographic shows the exact mechanism that controls this survival switch. It's called the vagus nerve, a massive biological bridge that connects the brainstem straight down into the body's major internal organs. You can see how its branches wrap directly around the heart, lungs, and digestive tract. By regulating your heart rate and lung capacity, the vagus nerve acts as your body's master alarm system. When an individual is traumatized, this nerve becomes dysregulated. It fires false alarm signals to the brain incessantly, trapping the body in a high-alert survival mode, even when you are sitting quietly in a perfectly safe room. This physiological glitch physically locks you in the basement of Maslow's hierarchy. You spend all your energy fighting an invisible war for basic security, leaving nothing left for personal growth. This is where reprogramming, or اعادة برمجة, comes in. Instead of trying to think our way to calmness, we can use specific physical exercises to train the body to send signals of safety back up the vagus nerve and into the brain. Repairing this specific neural pathway turns off the body's internal alarm, allowing the brain to finally reallocate its resources toward our psychological development. Once the vagus nerve is successfully reset, the physiological changes are immediate. Your resting heart rate drops, your breathing deepens, and those relentless internal alarm bells finally go silent. This profound sense of physical safety instantly solidifies the foundation of your psychological pyramid. You are no longer subconsciously bracing for an attack. With survival needs finally stabilized, the brain is no longer preoccupied with constant threats. This stability provides the cognitive space needed to begin the work of building authentic self-esteem and deep social connections. A quiet biology allows for an expansive mind. True psychological freedom is the direct, measurable result of establishing biological safety first. The core metaphor of Ferguson's work is elegantly simple. You cannot force a tree to touch the sky by grabbing its branches and pulling upward. Genuine, lasting growth requires tending to the deep, unseen roots. In our case, those roots are the very cells and nerves that make up our physical body. Healing our physiological trauma is what allows us to finally cross the bridge out of a life of mere survival and into one of actual living. Choosing to reset the nervous system shifts the body's priority from survival to development. By stabilizing our biology, we create the structural foundation required to pursue the most complex version of ourselves.